I'm Zach. I'm a nerd. I've been making trading card games since I was 8 years old, and I'm now 27 with an art degree, a career in product design, and a semi-successful indie trading card game. But I'm taking everything I've learned and putting my current game aside to create a new TCG. Starting from nothing and ending with, I guess we'll see. Welcome to a TCG from scratch. Episode 2. I haven't given up on the series yet, which is great. No, thank you so much for the response on episode 1. It's already one of my most popular videos and it's only been up for 2 weeks. It's insane. To recap episode 1, I made a very simple rule set which didn't work. I made one piece of art and this is what the cards look like. However, I did make a lot of progress on the general concept of the game. Based on an old childhood game I made, you start with a set of 5 evolvers. You use a deck full of protectors to attack and kill your opponents one by one. If you kill your opponent's evolvers, you win the game. I wanted to add a balancing mechanic and had the idea that the higher the stage of evolver you're on, the stronger the protectors you can play. But I'm yet to try this out. And I wanted to add another element of luck by adding a dice roll to the mix. But quite a few people made comments about this on the previous video, so we'll look into this problem today. Before I do this though, I want to have some fun with some art. I've shown you Man Flacky, and he looks simple enough, but there's a process that's gone into this. Before starting a design, I like to get a mood board made up, and over the years, on my day-to-day, I collect images of inspirational stuff to use as references for my game making. I'm talking mostly random stuff like this character on this app, this red pepper that looks like a demon, and this Albanian gas station logo which has no right to look this cool. As well as the random stuff, there's existing TCGs, I think they're obviously a good place to start. Some artwork I've been loving at the moment is Monster Club TCG, such a unique and eye-catching style, and I don't want this game to blend in with a lot of your standard manga or high fantasy TCGs. More homemade ones from the community I've been a part of include Defenders of Zealom. The same can be said for Mayhem TCG. The art is just like flat and simple, but it feels so satisfying and just draws you in. I know this is kind of cheating because it's my own game, but the Chaos Galaxy, a lot of the fan favourite characters match this sort of 2D style, so I've thrown them in the mood board. Another huge inspiration for me was my trip to Central America a couple of years ago. You just notice things with new eyes in a different country, like the street art was so cool, and the ancient artifacts in museums, they always get my creative juices flowing. And it's just so different to the things I see here in the UK. But particularly, there was this one exhibition I saw in Guatemala City that I don't know who this artist is, but these just simple line drawings seem to have so much personality and I think can perfectly translate into a trading card game. So with this mood board in mind, I just began freestyling some artwork for a couple of hours. And this bat character was the first thing that came out, which is definitely based on these drawings from the Guatemala exhibition. These characters are just going to be random protectors for the game. I haven't thought of abilities or names for them. I just like having these drawing sessions. And as the series goes on, I'm just going to use these speed arts that I've filmed to yap over and talk about game design theory. I don't know if these artworks will make the final cut, but if I go down the dice route, I really like this thought of a spirit trapped in a dice, and when you like roll the right number or combination, comes out like a genie. So that's the inspo for this card. I'm limiting myself to 3 colours plus black and white per artwork to give this flat mural style. As I mentioned in episode 1, I'm going to need to do a lot of artwork in a pretty short space of time to get this game ready. So these artworks took me like 20 minutes each, which I think is good. And then this crocodile dude based on this drawing is probably my favourite out of the lot here. I think he looks really fun. But after I finished each drawing, I'll spend a little bit of time retouching the image on Photoshop, and then I made this super quick rough template that's definitely going to be updated a lot before the final game. Put the artwork in, and I'm hoping to have about 2 decks worth of 30 to 50 cards at this level of execution for version 1 of the game. So that's my current goal. I was then on a bit of a drawing high and I really wanted to draw some evolvers. I love the thought of drawing a stage 1 really basic creature, then the next stage and working all my way up to this stage 5 boss. So I started with this little bomb character and was thinking like when they get killed, potentially they explode and do damage to your opponent and then level up. So I drew the first guy based on that. And then the footage corrupted for drawing the other guys, but this is what they look like. I got up to the stage 4 evolver and then I kind of ran out of steam with my drawing. and didn't want to draw the final level 5 Evolver when my mind wasn't with it, so I'm saving him. You'll have to wait to see what he looks like next episode. So after sneakily using my work printer, I made our first physical cards. I've made these 2.5 by 3.5 inches, which is the same as Pokemon and Magic the Gathering cards. Just a little tip when you're making your own TCG for deck box, card sleeve and binder purposes. But this is what it's all about, just holding those first cards for a game you've made. This is the start of something and it's so satisfying to hold. We've got 4 protectors here. And the first set of 5 Evolvers for the game, sort of. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of these two. I feel this looks too much like Onyx the Pokemon, and this kind of loses direction. Like, these definitely look like an evolution of each other, and then this seems to go kind of sideways. And I had some questions in the previous video about gameplay, and there will be resources in this game, which brings me to fixing these rules and figuring out how this game will actually work. Just before this, I filmed this video immediately after the first playtest in episode 1, about 2 months ago, so I couldn't take on all your guys' feedback from the comments. But this playtest went well, and my main reason for it was to address the dice roll issue that a lot of you guys pointed out. TCGs should be skillful games, I know, and essentially determining the winner through the luck of a dice roll isn't a good idea. And after this, I'm going to try some of your solutions to the dice mechanic, so if it is the route I go down, I know it needs to be done perfectly. Final point, this playtest was long. It was a really close game with a lot of back and forth, which was great, but I don't expect people to watch all this. Maybe watch a bit of the start, middle, and the end to get an idea, because it did have a really nice flow, but the summary at the end of this will determine a lot of the future of the game, so I think it's important that I left it all in. Okay, so I'm prepped for game playtest 2, where I've updated some of the card abilities so not every creature of the same level has the same stats. I've introduced a few abilities. I want to keep these limited, not like abilities can be anything. So I've got 3 types. I've got death abilities, which happen when a creature dies. So like add 2 to your next roll. I've got play abilities, which come into play when the creature is played. And then OPT, which means once per turn ability. So I'm going to get these into a battle. Game testing 2 now with card abilities, and the level of creature you can play is your dice roll plus the level of your current Evolver. Hand 1. Hand number 2. Let's just start with this deck because it lost last time. Okay, so we've got a 4 plus our 1 means 5. I'm just going to play this 4 and pass the turn. 2, not as good. So that plus our stage 1 Evolver, that means level 3. Not got anything that can beat that 150. Not sure I want to waste 2 level 1s either. So we'll just go ahead and play our Flappy Dragon. Okay, it's already kind of getting more tactical. We'll go this guy's turn, draw. So that's level 4. We'll go ahead and play a 4. Kill that and kill the Evolver. So now this deck gets an extra 2 added onto their roll instead of 1. Back to this turn. So 2 are 2, that's 4. Still not a ton we can do. We'll go ahead and play an Apollo and a Kubox Keeper for a total of 3. Use this one's ability. So 1 creature in play loses 20 permanently. So I guess we'll just pick the strongest one, which is this near one. Draw. Roll. 5. We're definitely getting the better rolls on this side. Got a plan here. We're going to play our Ploob with 180. After it attacks though, it's killed. We'll use these 2 guys to kill these 2 guys, and then Ploob to kill the Evolver. Ploob's ability, after he attacks, he's killed. And then kill our stage 2 Evolver. And this Evolver has an ability where death, roll, and if it's a 1 or 2, it's not killed. And that's a 3, so it is killed. Not looking good for combo deck. But they've got an extra level of draw, so the minimum card they can play is going to be a 4. So that's a 4. I've actually just read this card. The Drangel that we have costs 1 less for each card your opponent has in play. So that's 2. 6 minus 2 is 4, which is what we have. So we can play that and kill the Scythe Sect so that their Evolver gains 40 this turn, but that shouldn't really matter. This turn, okay. Roll 2, so that means we can play a level 3. I'm just going to play a Kubox Keeper to shield myself. There. Combo's turn 3, so we can play a 6. Can we go in for some damage here? Don't think we can. I'm just going to play a level 4 and then kill. On this turn we draw and roll. Do the high roll because we've got 2 7s in our hand. That's a 6. I'm going to play this 4, Mag Sprout, and kill the Kaboot and Kabonk. This game, I think, is in need of some resource cards. This side's turn 8. Can we draw something big? Oh, that's an 8. We'll play that. So now Drangel kills Mag Sprout and then attack their Evolver, which is really good. And you know what? That felt great. I drew a level 8, got the clutch dice roll, which let me play the level 8 card. That was a good feeling. So now this one's turn, level 2. Oh, okay, we've drawn the 10 star, so that's not going to be able to be played unless we get very close to dying. But I've got 2 level 7s, and now I need a 5 or higher. There's a 5 or higher. Now this is kind of annoying because I can play a strong card, but it's just not enough to get past the Super Flooper, but hopefully that's when resource cards will come into play. So play the Daibakadra, kill the Drangel, and then pass turn, because that's all we can do, really. So we'll draw, that's a 7, which is kind of good because, 3, we can only play a 6. And unfortunately with the combination of cards in hand, we can't kill their Evolver. So I think I'll just get one of these 1-star guys out of my hand and then attack, and attack. This gameplay is better. It's still lacking something, but I think resource cards should add that. Ooh, not looking good over here. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this Kronk. So when he dies, I can kill my current Evolver to kill one other card. So hopefully I can get past the Super Flooper. I'll kill this Jet Punch for now. And it's Combo's turn. Drawn a 9-star. Right, if we get a 6 now, it's only a 1. So we can play a 4. Oh yeah, we can actually kill the Evolver here. No, we can't. Yes, we can. I'll use the 4 to play Bob 2699. Use his ability. When he's played, I can play a level 3 or lower from my hand. Play the Transponge. We'll crash these 2. And then I've done a miscalculation because that dies. This also dies, but when this is killed, you can kill your Evolver to kill one other card. I should probably specify that you can't kill an Evolver with that ability, but I'll kill my Evolver to kill this Super Flooper. So now it's 3-3. This is even. This is good. This is good. This is good. I'm going to keep it going. This turn. Okay, so all the powerful creatures are kind of clogged up in our hand. I feel like we need more mid-range creatures like 4s, 5s, and 6s. 1s, and then 7, 9s, and 10s. That's a 6 though, which means we can play a 9. Or we can kill their Evolver here. No, we can't. Never mind. I'll play the 9. I'll go for it. I'll use the opportunity. And although it's only killing a Transponge, hopefully this guy will be on board for a while. Okay, draw. We've got a 9 as well on this side. Again, it's just high-level creatures stuck in hand. Hopefully this 5 should be nice and easy to play. That's the only number that meant we couldn't play it. Their Evolver has an ability. Once per turn, if you roll a 1 or 2, this gains 140 power until your opponent's turn ends. So he's sitting pretty on 380, which means that although we can't play anything there, Mr. Aggro Deck here cannot get past the Evolver. Draw a 6, that should be nice and playable. So we got 7. I'll pay 7. We use all 7 to play my Daibakadra, and when it's played, all these cards gain 100 score. So 460, 200, 460, that can take out the Evolver in 1. Unfortunately, Daibakadra cannot get past the 400 of this other Evolver. We'll pass the turn over. I like it. It's building up towards the end of the game and we can play more powerful cards. He says that's only a 5, but once per turn you can permanently have this card lose 100 power to give one protector 100 power. Pay 5 for the Elite Kronk, which can kill the Daibakadra. This guy's turn. 3, so that puts me on 6. Loses 50 at the end of every turn, so that goes down to 200. Can we kill the Evolver here? So I'll use 5 of my 6 to play the Space Patrolman and 1 of my 6 to play this Jet Punch. Actually, we can't really do anything there. My bad. This turn. Roll 5, so that's a 9. Okay, I think we're just going to go straight for this 9er. We'll crash. We'll use this ability, give our 9er an extra 100 so our Evolver loses it. Kill that. And then we'll kill the Jet Punch, and when Jet Punch is killed, it kills the Evolver. This is 4-4 here. Roll. 1. Not good. What are they going to draw? Can't really do anything there. Is this going to be game? Draw. And that's a 6. Play that. It's 360 to kill. Kills them, and then 500. Not enough. It's not enough. Draw. 4 and draw, so that's 9. So we can play the 7 and roll. So that's on 260. Yep, we can kill that. Six, so we can play 10. Kill that. Kill that, both draw. 11. There we go. Kill. 8. 6 and 2. 11. Kills that. That plus 2 to the next level, so that's 4. And then these two, Snow Slap kills that. And then 500. So, aggro 1. That was a very long game though. And I think, one thing I was pleased with was the hand size. It never got to a point where like one player had like 10 cards in hand. Think some resources would be good to put in this game. However, I'm not sure what to do about costs for them. It was very sort of battle focused, which I guess it should be. 3s, 4s and 5s seemed very good. 7s and higher didn't, and 1s and 2s seemed a bit useless as well. So I think that's where decks need to focus on. The Evolvers were cool. I liked their abilities and how they sort of had an impact on the game, but then after they died, it was a different ability in the game that sort of changed up the dynamics a bit. But anyway, that was tiring. I'm going to go back to some art. My first takeaway is mid-level protectors, level 4, 5 or 6, seem really good. You can consistently play them all the way through the game. Low levels and high levels like 9s and 10s were pretty bad. They're just stuck in my hand for a lot of the game, so I need to make a way to get them more consistent. Point number 2, the dice mechanic. Rolling a 1 really sucked. It didn't matter near as much as it did in my first playthrough, which is great, but is there a way we can make it matter less or change the mechanics somehow? On the flip side of that though, rolling a 6 felt really good. Like the excitement I felt when this happened. 8. Can we draw something big? Oh, that's an 8. We'll play that. It was great, and that's why luck is good in these games. Like that clutch draw that gets you out of a situation or that amazing dice roll is something that's really nice. Point 3. The game was really long. It took ages to kill that last evolver, and it felt good that we had to work towards it. The game definitely had a start, middle and end that had a really nice pacing, but I just want to speed it up in general. I can also see this being made worse by people tactically not killing their opponent's evolvers. If your opponent's on a low evolver, they can't play stronger creatures, so I can see people sort of saving up and then wiping out all their opponent's evolvers in one before they get a chance to do anything. Because if I know TCG players, they're going to try and break this game. And 4 is to add resource cards. So those are my current aims. I also want to try a few different dice mechanics that people have suggested in the comments. Thank you so much for all those suggestions, by the way. Or maybe look for other mechanics in other TCGs, because I think that could be really helpful. I've started putting together a document of abilities that I'm just going to add to as the game goes on. So protectors, I'm sticking with the play, death, and once per turn categories for protector abilities for now. I think this is a nice limitation to keep the game simple. Maybe just for the start of this design process, but we'll see how it moves as the game develops. Some resource or spell type cards, which I'm calling effectors for now, and evolver abilities. If you guys can think of any cool abilities for cards that fit the game, please let me know in the comments, because I'm sure you guys can think of some great stuff, and I want to try out some weird, wacky abilities for this, definitely. But that's it for episode 2. This is what the cards looked like at the start of the episode, and this is what they look like at the end. We've got a few abilities and some sexy prototype artwork, making some of these look a lot nicer than they did in episode 1. But that's it for episode 2. Moving forward, I'm going to try and post videos every other Monday. And I think episode 3 will be a fair bit of play testing and dice mechanics, because I really need to get that right. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.